Okay, hey everyone. So today we're going to be talking about how I paid for college, and this is a really popular question that I get from students and from parents who are wondering how much they have to save for their kids to go to college. So hopefully this gives you guys some idea of all of the college expenses, and I'm going to break it down for you guys a bit of what my expenses were and how much money I had to work for up front in order to help me pay for college. So let's get right into the video. We're going to be talking about FAFSA. We're going to be talking about my tuition expenses, my living expenses, and then work life, basically how I worked throughout school and how that helped me pay for college. So FAFSA, what is FAFSA? So that stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. So this application determines your eligibility to receive a grant and or federal student loan. And so this is an annual application that you have to fill out every single year, and it determines your eligibility. So you can get grants offered to you or federal student loans. And so is it free? So it's free to apply, through this application, but the money that you get from FAFSA can be free and it cannot be. So there's grants and then there's federal student loans. So the grants are money that you don't have to pay back. And we've talked about those in our previous videos. So some examples of the grants that you don't have to pay back are the Pell Grants and the Cal Grant. And then the federal student loans, that's money that you have to pay back. That's that number that's like hovering over your head and like increasing all the time. Those are federal student loans, and you have to pay back that money once you graduate and once the grace period is over. And so there's two forms of loans. There's subsidized loans and then there's unsubsidized loans. So if you're gonna take out a loan, it'd be much better to take out a subsidized loan, because this is a loan that does not accrue interest while you're in school. So let's say you take out this loan as a freshman, throughout this 4 years of college, it's not accruing any interest. And then you don't have to pay it back until after you graduate and after that deferment period. And then the unsubsidized loans, those are kind of like the bad ones, right? Or they are the bad ones, because those are loans that start accruing interest as soon as they're dispersed. So as soon as those loans hit your bank account, then they start accruing interest. And so this is just a known fact. The average student loan in America is $35,397. So the country is currently in a student loan crisis. I actually think that the average student loan in California is a bit higher than this national average. So this is 35,000. I think for the state of California, it's like 36,000. So a lot of money, and I didn't take out anywhere near this amount of money, way less than half of that amount. So I'm going to be talking about in the video kind of how I was able to do that. And yeah. So tuition. My tuition was pretty inexpensive, and so because it was inexpensive, I had it covered completely by the grants that I got, so like the Pell Grant and the Cal Grant. So my tuition my tuition was roughly around $6,500 to $8,000 a year. And so this was because I went to a state school. I went to a California State University. And so because the grants covered my tuition, this means I didn't have to take out additional loans to cover my cost of tuition, which is in some cases what students have to do because the cost of tuition is so high. So they get these grants and they have to take out additional money for their tuition, and then possibly take out even more money for their living expenses. So in my situation, I had to just take out loans for my living expenses. So I only took out loans 2 years throughout the 4 years. It was my freshman year because I had absolutely no money to go to college. So I had to take out loans my freshman year, and then my senior year. And my senior year, that was not because I didn't have money, but that was because I bought my car, and I was really worried about, since I bought a used car, of it like breaking down on me and I'd have to pay a lot of money to fix it, because I heard a lot of horror stories about buying like used cars and stuff. But luckily, my car was just fine. So I took out that money just to have it on hand, just in case anything broke down on me, or like for emergencies or something like that. So I took out loans my freshman year and senior year of college. All right, so my living expenses. So my rent was like the second most expensive thing I had to pay for. So then that ranged anywhere between $5,000 to $13,000 a year. That was like the most I ever paid a year for rent. And then food, anywhere like range between $1,800 to $2,500. And then books, this also fluctuated a bit because there were some semesters that I didn't buy any books, and then the next semester I would buy like 4 access codes, and that was like $400. So that fluctuated a bit. And then my car, I finally bought my car my senior year of college, and I paid for it with cash. And then that just came with more added on expenses like the gas, tires, maintenance, a parking pass, which is really expensive and doesn't make any sense if you're going to a public university why you have to pay for parking. But anyways, yeah, that was really expensive for parking passes. And then the personal expenses also fluctuated. If I had emergencies of things I had to pay for or whatever, that just kind of fluctuated. And that personal expense budget would just come out of my overall budget for the year. And so, wait, let's go back to the slide. So you can see here that I would need, anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 just to live, right? To keep the lights on, to have a roof over my head, to have food to eat, anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000. So how did I pay for that, right? I worked. So my work life. I worked full-time during the summer and winter breaks, and I had to save money like crazy to have that amount of money up front because I wasn't going to be working throughout the school year. So I worked 40 hours plus every week when I was on summer and winter breaks, and if there was overtime, then I would work overtime. And so, like I mentioned, I had to meet my quota of money up front since I wouldn't work during the school year. And I didn't want to work throughout the school year, so because I wanted to focus on school. I didn't want to like potentially jeopardize doing bad in a class, failing a class, and then having to stay longer in school because I messed up because I was trying to work around my work schedule. I said, okay, I'm only going to work during my break so I could give all my effort and attention to school. So I did that for 3 years. And then working on the breaks. And then my senior year is when I finally decided to work year round. So at that point, I had got a much more real sense of like managing my time wisely. So I was definitely comfortable to work throughout the school year and, earn some money. And so just working on the breaks allowed me to focus on my schoolwork. And so that's also how I was able to graduate in 4 years and, with my engineering degree. So I was really happy with how that turned out. And, I was able to pay for my sophomore year and junior year up front with, the money that I made. And so luckily I was able to work in my field of interest. So I had my internship. And so I was able to gain professional experience, with what I was studying in school. And then I was also able to earn some money. So I got really, really lucky with that. And so, yeah, that's basically it. So that's how I was able to take out a little bit of money for school, and honestly don't regret anything that I did, kind of like the method that I used, because I graduated in the time that I wanted and with the degree that I wanted. So I was really happy with how it turned out, and I would really recommend, if you can, obviously because I did it, I would recommend this way of like working only on your breaks so you could focus all your attention on school. And I really like how it worked out for me. And so, this allowed me to not take out so much money, so many student loans. And so now that I'm done, I'm graduated, I don't have to pay a lot back, and I'm not as stressed about that. So really happy with how that turned out, and that was how I was able to pay for college. So if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it gives anyone watching kind of some sense of all the college expenses and how much money you need or whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.